Hi, today I want to talk to you about this Kndko cold press juicer.
It's so delicious. So now I'm just going to give you a breakdown of the parts. This is the base. This is the motor. This is where it's going to be getting all of its power. And you can see it has a screen right here.
Just three simple buttons. You have on button in the middle, and that also stops it. But the on button, you'll see it's moving in a clockwise direction. You can hit stop, and if you want to reverse it, you can do that to perhaps loosen up or get things moving in a different direction, and that goes counterclockwise. Again, super simple, nothing complicated at all.
This is where the fruit or vegetables are going to be smashed into the wonderful juice. And you got to make sure that this is pushed down in the center and can turn evenly around. And then we're going to install, I always get this backwards. You're going to put this on, and it needs to rest in this well. And then you have your pitcher. This has a nice wide opening on it right here so that you can fit everything you want in there. See, it's just an open chute. So the way this works is you put this on, and on the back it will lock in place for you. Did you hear that click? Maybe you can't hear it. It's sort of a quiet click. At any rate, once you get to this point, you can start to fill the top. First, I'm going to plug it in. This is going to catch your pulp and your extras, and there's a chute on the side that you need to make sure that it is directly on there. And then also it has this pitcher, you see the pour spout. That's where your juice is going to come out. There's the pulp, comes out like a tube. This is always so exciting. Now this also has a reverse button so that if your fruits or vegetables get bound in there, you can hit the reverse button. I'm going to go ahead and do that now so you can just... It just goes in, obviously it just goes in the opposite direction to clear anything. And then you can hit stop, and then you can hit start again, and it'll go back to going clockwise. And you don't have to sit here and do this. I'm just sort of killing some time while this is done. Looks like pretty much all the juice is out, so we're going to go ahead and stop it. So I realize now that I used the pour pitcher and the pulp pitcher. I mix those up, but you know, ultimately it really doesn't matter because the end result is you want good juice. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? This is the juice of 3 oranges, and this will run for about maybe 10 minutes until you should give it a break. So you have the pusher, which as you saw really comes in handy. And then also you have a brush to clean it, and this also obviously is going to come in handy. When you take this apart, you just work in reverse. Pull it this way to unlock it. Pull this out. And what's nice is the main unit, it doesn't get anything on it. So you don't have to worry about getting any kind of the electronic components wet. You can wipe it out if you need to. I don't even have anything in mine. You have the center, and you know, that's easy to scrape off. You have your inside, and that's pretty much it. So it doesn't have a big footprint, but it is more, obviously, more upright. And the weight of this, I'm going to guess that, you know, this is the heaviest part, of course. I'm going to guess this base weighs about maybe 4 to 5 pounds, but it stays in place really well whenever it is doing its job. So down here on the bottom, it has these 4 rubber feet so that gives it a good grip on the counter, and also it protects the counter from any scratches as well. It has the normal length of cord, about 3 feet long, as a standard kitchen appliance does. Those 3 oranges, I got a really nice, I already drank some, but well, that was about 300 milliliters, so about 100 milliliters per orange, and certainly enough for 2 people. So about 1.5 to 2 oranges per person, and I did that Those 3 oranges, it took about 2 minutes. So in 10 minutes time, that's about 15 oranges, so enough for about 6 servings in 10 minutes.
Well, this juicer is 17 inches tall, and my cabinet clearance is 17.5 inches from the outside, so it fits under there just perfectly. And underneath, there's a little more room.
Now that I'm getting ready to wash it, just going to give you some close-ups. This is the lid of the top unit. You just squeeze this little handle right here, little trigger, and it pops up. You can see it has that nice wide opening there. And of course, this is super easy to clean. There's 2 screens on it right here, and well, they're like metal screens. And of course, that's where it's going to separate the pulp from the juice. And what I like to do is, I think most of us have a faucet like this where you have the sprayer, and then I have like you have that, where'd it go? The really hard spray. Perfect for getting any pulp out of those little holes on the screen. Look at that. Love it. And then of course the bins. So now this is when the brush comes in handy. You're going to pull this out. I just actually scrape this pulp into the trash first. Tap it off a little bit, and when it comes to cleaning, I would say that this juicer is the easiest one I've ever cleaned because it has less nooks and crannies. I don't have to stick my fingers in either of the chutes. This brush is enough to do that. See the chute, it opens up this way so that you can easily access anything that's left in here. And the water really is enough, but that's it. This is a great product, and I definitely recommend it. Everything is easy about it, and it just works fantastic. So next, it's just a matter of lining things up and putting it away. Put this inside. You got to make sure this is seated in here really well whenever it's in operation. If you have anything that's not working, not seated properly or locked as it's supposed to, the unit doesn't work. So I actually love that feature because sometimes I'm all, I get into a hurry, especially when I get into a breakfast making mode. There we go. You got to make sure that that's pressed down in, and you got to make sure that this is seated in here properly. And you'll know because it'll wiggle. You can feel it pop in. Then you're just going to put it on so that it's lined up in the unlock position. You see there's a lock that's open right here. And then whenever you turn it into place, it directly lines up right here so you know that it's locked. So this has a stainless steel base. It stays nice and shiny, easy to keep clean, and I just love this. Well, it matches my appliances. That's the whole point. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to the brand for sending it to me so I could share with you what I know. I hope you have a great day.